We're back. First time in 6 months. It kind of feels like The Rock coming back to WrestleMania to impress the millions and millions of fans worldwide. Last night, back in your life. My name's Griffin, joined by Thomas and Andrew. You know us. I don't need to introduce us. Just like The Rock, we have millions and millions of fans worldwide. Good to see you, boys.
I
It's
feel
great
like
to
you didn't
see
give
you.
me a chance to throw it to you,
You
but I guess
didn't.
that's
I wasn't
the
going to
new
give you a
direction we're
chance.
going.
Yeah, now that we record only twice a year, we just dive on right on into it.
Got no time to waste.
Griffin, I actually thought of the Rock too when it comes to list night because when the Rock like he's come back like a million times, right, in
Perhaps.
wrestling, and that's most wrestlers have. But there was like one time where he came back after many years and he was like, I am never leaving again. And then he wasn't back for another like 4 years. So
He left like almost immediately after.
yeah, I mean, that's kind of the vibe that we give off.
Yeah, but
We're
that's like
back and
scheduling
then doesn't record for
conflicts.
another year and a half.
Yeah,
You
much
know
like
what I
us, it's
was
just conflict of schedule. Like it's not personal.
Sure. Honestly, our schedules don't have that many conflicts. Like we don't have that much going on in our lives.
I
I
go to
was
bed
listening
early.
because I had forgotten when the last time we recorded was. It was a while ago. It was early this year. But I went back and I listened to our two most recent episodes, just the intros to him, because I was like, how do I do an intro for list night? I don't remember how to do it, which apparently is something that I said last time we recorded an episode because I forgot to do it that time too. And then what we said at the beginning of that was we've been gone for a while, but now we're back and we're not leaving again. So much like The Rock, we'll see in a couple years after our film careers take off.
We'll be back eventually.
I think the next time you guys see us, we'll record an episode shirtless and we'll have big Samoan tattoos because we're just gonna all try to turn into The Rock.
That is not a promise I can make.
That is a promise that I can but should not make.
See,
I don't.
it's not a promise I can make either, but also recording in the near future is also not a promise I can make. So like they're both unlikely to happen, is what I'm saying.
Here's the
I,
big
I,
question. Is it cultural appropriation if we're doing it because we like The Rock and not because we think that we're Samoan?
yes.
Yes and no.
Okay. All right. If you're still listening, thank you. This is getting off to a start. Maybe not the best start, but it's getting off to a start. What we're talking about today probably has nothing to do with The Rock, although I'm not going to rule it out entirely because now that I think about it, I could see how he would fall on this list. We're doing monkey paws. If you don't know what a monkey paw is, it is kind of like a genie's lamp, except there are drawbacks to whatever wish you put out there. So if you wish for something, then there's going to be some like major drawback that makes it not as good of a wish. We're going to go Andrew this week, then Thomas, then me. And much like we've done over the past few episodes, we're going to stick with the everyone gives a 5, everyone gives a 4, 3, 2, and then 1, rather than somebody doing all 5 in a row and then moving on to the next person. List night, pretty basic concept. If you're watching us on YouTube, before we really get into it, click the like button, comment below what your top 5 monkey paws would be, or if you're here at the end of the episode, say what your favorite list was. If you haven't clicked the subscribe button, please do so. We don't upload very often, so I can't even be mad at you if you haven't done it yet. But you will find out the next time that we have an episode. And if you're listening to us on an audio platform, click the follow button, rate and review, 5 stars. Talk about how good we look or how good we sound or how much you love The Rock, how much you hate The Rock. Honestly, I don't care. Just give us 5 stars. Like I said, Andrew, Thomas, then me. Anything else you guys want to talk about? We want to like update them on our lives. Thomas got
No,
engaged.
no.
They don't care.
I
They don't
just,
care.
I
They
just
don't
want,
care
I
about
just
that.
want to, I just want to say real quick. I wasn't ignoring your spiel,
You
but
were
my
writing your
note,
list.
no, it had gotten deleted. So yes, I was rewriting my list.
Don't you write yours like by hand? What do you mean it got deleted?
I used to, but that's upstairs, and I'm not upstairs.
You've kept
Got it.
that book for like 2.5 years through
It's
many moves, and you're like, now it's like it's upstairs. I don't feel like going to get it.
I had to bring my computer downstairs because it's been in the closet since the last time we recorded.
Not the only thing that's been in the closet since the last time we recorded.
What
When we're
else?
done with this, Andrew, when we're done with this, you should transpose your notes from this notebook to that notebook because when you die, inevitably, probably soon, that's going to be one of the things that people are going to want to look at in the memorial of Thomas.
Or we'll bury
it?
you with it.
Oh yeah, that I would appreciate. I don't want to be buried though.
I'm absolutely not going to bury. That's like the only thing I'm going to have to remember you by. We haven't taken like any photos together in our lives. I'm gonna want it. I'm gonna want it. That's what I'm saying now. I'm gonna want it.
Well, let me get my notes app ready for your guys' list because no one else does it.
So before I do my number 5, I want to clarify, Griffin. I think we talked about this. You didn't mention this. We are just listing 5 wishes that we have, and then the other 2 of us are going to basically pick them apart and basically tell the person why they are monkey paw wishes, why they would go wrong.
That's exactly right, Andrew. And I'm glad that you said that. And I was really setting you up to say that. So it's not that I forgot to bring it up. It's just that, I kind of want to bring you into the co-hosting duties. I can't bring Thomas in because the kid can't talk, but I can bring you in because like you've got words. So really, in a lot of ways, props to me for that amazing setup. But yes, you are correct.
Yeah, I think the other 2 should decide on one. Like we should
agree.
Spitball. Yeah, the other 2 should agree on what the consequence is.
Yeah. If I come up with a crappy one and you come up with a better one for Andrews, we're going to go with yours.
Yeah,
I don't see that happening. I feel like that's the less likely reality, but resume the bullying 2023.
Let's go, because with us picking apart each list, this banter could go on for a while. We don't want this to be a 3-hour episode. So on my list, like I chose mostly like oddly specific wishes because you could choose health, happiness, world peace, boring stuff like that. But I thought that wouldn't be as much fun for the purposes of this podcast. So my number 5 is to always have perfectly timed transportation. So like always hitting green traffic lights, or if you have to transfer on a bus, always your bus comes right when you get there, or same with a train or a plane, anything like that. So try picking that one apart, boys.
So it's perfectly timed when it arrives. Does that mean it's perfectly timed when it gets to the destination?
Everything goes smoothly. There's no flight delays. There's nothing, everything's just perfect. Not like not above expectations, but just right at expectations.
Sure. How do you feel? And this is just like a question really for the room, but mostly for you. How do you feel about the smell of piss and vomit?
Not in my top 5 of smells.
Not your favorite smells. So it's not going to be on your list of top 5 smells. That's good to know.
Clarification. So like you have to be somewhere at 6. Mm-hmm. No matter what time you leave, you're going to get there at 6, or do you still have to leave? Like
no. I'll build in the appropriate amount of time.
Okay. So when you Google Maps it 2 hours beforehand, and it tells you how much time. If you leave that much time, you're golden.
Yes,
kind of
exactly.
Honestly,
like I'm not asking for any miracles here, even though I literally have a genie's wish. But as long as I leave at the time that I'm supposed to, everything else. So you're not
like a super speedster. You're not the Flash. You can't be like, hey, I'm going to go from Ocean City to California in 4.5 minutes.
No. I'm still taking
the correct
buses.
amount of time.
Physics still apply to you.
Yeah. So here's my proposal: is that
all right?
That's fine. But you always have the worst seat. And I'm talking like on the bus, you're in the seat that someone peed on earlier, like Griffin mentioned. On the plane, you're in the back row between a yappy
fat
dog
guy and a
baby.
Yeah.
Even better. And next to the bathroom. That's what I'm thinking. Is that you're still getting there on time, but you're not comfortable during that time.
I had one other thought, and it was everywhere he travels, he has to make small talk with the person he likes least in the world.
Ooh.
I think we can rule out the piss and vomit just because I don't want to put that on a graphic. Like I don't want us to be the piss and vomit podcast. Although now that I've said it, I feel like there's a little cum town
there's a niche
in there.
I was gonna say we could be the P&V podcast, but that sounds like something different altogether.
P&V podcast probably exists, and it's probably just ranking porn.
Yes.
I'm also on that podcast. I don't know if you're aware.
I was gonna say it sounds like your kind of podcast.
I like the small talk one.
Do you like the small talk one better? I don't really have a big preference. So if you like the small talk one, but I think Andrew,
I don't think I like
small talk.
Yeah, see, I don't think I like the small talk one better, but I'm trying to decide which would bother Andrew more.
So if I let
Andrew,
me,
if you had to like give
Is it
us,
always the
if you had to
same
lean in
person?
one direction,
It's
I,
always the same person he has to talk
so
to?
no,
no one,
No.
when you say the person I like least in the world, like no one specifically is really coming to mind. There's plenty of people that I can't
me.
stand, but it I think I would be more annoyed by the seat thing, like having a terrible seat.
Yeah.
Sure.
It do you, what you're saying is like if I had to make small talk to the person I hate the least, I'm not building any kind of camaraderie, even though every time I get on the bus and train and bus and flight, I have to sit next to him. Like I
No, because
I can't start to like the guy.
it's not necessarily going to be the same person every time. Because if
Okay.
you did start liking it, it would become somebody else. But
Mm.
the logistics of us setting that up, where we have to then find
It's
people you
magic,
hate,
Griffin. It's
like I
magic.
know it's
Magic.
magic, but like the monkey or the dead monkey, at least the one-handed monkey. Like I feel like we're going to overcomplicate its job with this. So making your travel as inconvenient as possible is probably the way to
Yeah.
go. Because
You're
annoyance is worse than hate.
it's convenient in your time,
It's convenient. It's
inconvenient
just
in your
not comfortable.
comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not comfortable.
Yeah. It's convenient, it's efficient, it's perfect, except for how truly awful that would be for you. I'm gonna go with Thomas's idea. I think we agree on that one.
Yeah.
I'm for it.
That was good. I was impressed. I was like, when we thought of this topic, and I was like, this is going to go terribly. So I was impressed with that. Good job, guys. All right, Thomas, you're up.
I'm glad you were not optimistic about this.
No, because I feel like the only reason to be optimistic about this, I disagree with Andrew entirely. We're really good at the shitty reasons for things. We're less good at the optimistic stuff. So, like the drawbacks, if I wrote a bunch of drawbacks and you guys had to come up with like a positive wish, that'd be way harder.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, my number 5. This is probably my most joke of a one. Like I think all my other ones are a little more serious. Um, this one's kind of for the fans, but I thought it was funny. My number 5 is world peace.
I hate you. It's the exact opposite of what Andrew said.
I also wanted to see what you guys would say.
Because Andrew said that he was not going to have something like this on his list, I want him to go first with his drawback because the guy hates peace. We all know that.
That's
So,
peace.
yeah, this is you're putting me in a tough position here. Obviously, this is a friendly podcast, all jokes. But it could get kind of boring. It could get kind of boring. Like think of all the great pieces of literature, the great movies, the great TV shows. I could go on and on. I mean, endless historical and creative takes on real history that would have never happened if there was world peace. So I hope this is being recorded. I am against world peace.
It is being recorded. I agree with you. I would say the drawback for this is the world peace would have to come at a cost, and you would likely need to wipe out the vast majority of people. So yeah, you're getting world peace, Thomas, but at what cost?
I would have to wipe them out.
Well, the monkey again. We're putting a lot of shit on the monkey.
Just clarifying.
Well, I mean, look, when Aladdin did everything that Aladdin did in Aladdin, did we blame the genie or did we blame Aladdin?
Yeah. Griffin, I immediately like yours more because you're right. It's just it's I understand the genie is like all powerful and like you would just wish and it would happen, but like every like evil dictator autocrat, like that's kind of their MO is like, we're going to have world peace. We're going to have like a utopia to live in. And clearly they got ulterior motives. So I don't see it happening.
I want to say when I was like planning out what I was going to say about the drawback to it, I had a much more racist, xenophobic version of it where it was like, okay, I guess we're just going to like wipe out the Middle East, which I could say because I am from the Middle East, but
you're from Durwood.
I'm from Durwood. My heritage is Middle Eastern, as you can see from my beautiful skin if you're watching the YouTube video. But obviously that is not actually what I believe. Yeah, I think the cost would have to be basically everybody, which is a really depressing thought.
Uh, I mean, I feel like we need a number.
Under 8 billion. That's how many people are going to get wiped out, or how many people are going to be left.
Like either one, I guess.
Yeah,
Well,
I
there's
mean,
there's an entire saying about how if there's two people, I don't remember the saying, but basically all you need is two people to have a conflict. So Thomas could be the only dude left in this scenario,
also,
and Thomas hates himself.
also,
So
Thomas, I'll take it one step further. Like, yeah, you could have world peace by just getting rid of all humans, but not really, because I mean, would you consider the food chain to be world peace? There's animals
Yes.
eating animals all the time.
I
So,
would consider that world. Animals don't make war on each other.
right,
Animals exist within like
but that's not a but that's not a
circle of
peace.
life.
But I wouldn't consider getting eaten to death a peaceful time. So
Have
therefore
you ever
you
seen
can't
The
have
Lion
peaceful
King?
time.
It's the circle of life.
Well, I
Circle
mean,
of-
I guess by that extension of logic, then we feel bad for like the plants and like the algae and the anything. I feel bad for sunlight that things are absorbing. Like, I mean, there's a limit.
This is my point. The only way world
If you're
peace
bad for
exists,
sunlight.
the only way world peace
Something's
exists
absorbing it.
is if nothing exists. Okay, so you just destroyed the entire universe, Thomas.
World peace, Thomas, but at what cost?
I've done worse things. It's fine.
I don't think that's true, but sure. Okay, so what are we in agreement on? Are we just getting rid of people, or are we getting rid of everything?
Apparently,
Is Thomas existing in a self-hating, like nameless void?
Apparently, I created Armageddon.
Griffin, I'll let you get the final say. My vote is getting rid of everything, not just people.
Yeah, all right. Look, fine. We'll get rid of everything.
Right.
Thomas,
peaceful times.
I'm pretty powerful.
Yeah, world peace, but was it worth it? I say yes. All right. I'm looking at my list, and I realize I didn't order them, but I know what my number 5 is.
I'm Griffin, and
I actually I want to say I have in parentheses at the end of this something that I feel like will negate some of the potential drawbacks you could have for this. So I'm going to ignore what's in the parentheses, and I can tell you what it is after the fact. Number 5, all of my friends living in the same city, and I get to choose who the friends are, and I also get to trade them in and out as I so choose.
So a commune. You want a commune?
Yeah. Well, I'm not too worried about us like financially committing to each other, although I'm not against it, because a lot of people make more money than I do. But yeah, basically.
So say again. You want all your friends in the same city, living in the same city,
but I get to choose who those friends are, and I get to trade them in and out as I so choose.
So right off the bat, I'm just gonna go with this. This is so sad. But you can clarify, but I just feel like you didn't mention you living in this city. So my drawback would be that you don't get to live in that city.
That's true. I did not say that, and it's also not in my notes.
Yeah, that would be wow. He might start crying if we all just
that's my nightmare. That's
lived
the
in
worst.
a city and you weren't there. I mean, that kind of, besides Thomas having already left DC, that was kind of the case when you left DC, Griffin. So you did this to yourself.
I mean, outside of like our specific like DC friend group, we got like Kevin and people that were always in different cities. But yes, we did have everybody in one city, and then I did kind of blow it up. That is on me.
If we don't want to completely destroy you, I guess my other possible drawback would be that all your friends live in the city and you have to live in the suburbs.
Just to clarify, Thomas, we just made you the greatest mass murderer in the history of the universe, so don't feel like you need to pull your punches on this.
I got over that pretty quickly.
Very clearly. Little Hitler Albert.
Yeah. I like yours, Thomas. I mean, how do we feel about like you can never leave the city? That seems a bit sinister.
Or they can't leave the city.
I
don't want to like trap them in like a bottle. I mean, I guess monkey paw.
I mean, we could like limit. He can see one friend a week.
I really like Thomas's original one. I didn't think about it at all. I didn't think that I wouldn't be allowed in the same city.
Oh, or you all live in the same city, but you can only see each other on Zoom.
Oh my, That sounds awful.
That sounds worse than
That's
not
like
being able to
that's
see you
like
guys.
a like the return to office, but everyone's still on Zoom calls with each other in other conference rooms.
Our hybrid office environment that is our friend group.
I mean, I think the biggest drawback would be he can't live in the city.
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I allowed in the city, or am I not even allowed in the city? Like, am I banned from this city?
I don't. I was gonna say just you live far away, so you're gonna have to you're gonna have to spend a lot to come visit.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically everybody moved back to DC, and I'm still in LA. All right. That's done a lot of damage to me the past couple of years. So great. My monkey paw wish is something that I have lived through.
That you
Cool.
you already did.
Yep. All right. Fantastic.
Cool.
Man, we are rolling here. My number 4 is
I'm so sad.
My number 4, Griffin will love. Thomas will not love, probably. Well, maybe we'll see. My number 4 is to make list night a full-time career.
I do love that. I don't. There's. I mean,
I got no issues. I mean, if I can I just career.
I'm just going to go ahead and say my number 4 was the ability to make content creation my full-time job. So whatever drawback we come up for you, I guess we could probably also apply to me, unless it's a different drawback. The immediate thing that came to mind when I was writing that one was, and then I'm going to end up hating this. Just like I hate actual work.
Yeah, I wanted to go with Griffin City again, be like, but you're not part of it, but it's your career, so you are part of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, the big drawback would be like,
I guess you could be our career making like minimum wage.
I was like, you could say career, but you are barely getting by, or that's boring.
I have one for myself.
Okay.
That I just thought of. So we have list night as a full-time career. We're very successful, but we have to start like having meetings where we use a lot of corporate jargon, and we're just like, yeah, we'll circle back on that, and
we already say that
we're not aligned on this, so we're gonna need to synergize. Just like over the top, just too much corporate jargon.
Yeah, so basically we're gonna end up hating this because it's gonna become a job,
right?
Yeah.
See, I think this drawback would be more for Griffin than for you, Andrew, but I'd say that if list night became a full-time career and you just never won another list night, but I think that's more of a Griffin drawback than you.
No, I would hate that.
Hands to heart, man, I'd be fine never winning list night again if somebody showed up tomorrow, like one individual showed up tomorrow and was like, I'm going to give each of you individually 6 figures to do this. I'd be like, okay, cool. I'm not even going to throw it. I'm going to try my best and still lose. Like, that's fine.
Yeah, I think we would all take that deal.
I would say the drawback would be that Andrew would never win, or Redbox would never sponsor us.
Well, then I don't want to do list night, because what are we without Redbox?
We're nothing without our famous Redbox sponsorship.
We love our Redbox, and we love our Pizza Hut big family box. Like, we love boxes. That's who we are. We love,
I don't want to say like it becomes your career and then you hate it. Like, that's boring to me.
Okay. I mean, we could make it the corporate thing that he suggested. It's kind of a bummer that we've got to take his suggestion about his monkey.
Yeah, I mean, we could say like, yeah, it's your career, but you don't have fun with it anymore. But like,
we could be canceled.
That you don't like it.
We could be canceled for it and become pariahs.
Got it.
We could just absolutely wreck our personal lives because we got canceled because of list night.
Better.
You want to be the new Clay Travis?
We become famous for list night, and it becomes a full-time career. But our followers are all the people we hate.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean it's the far.
Everyone knows
far
who
right.
you mean.
Oh.
Yeah.
The farthest right. Is our fan base. So
okay,
your career comes at a cost.
So we become grifters, is what you're saying. Okay, I can do it.
I really like that. That one's pretty good. I like that. Yes, we're becoming famous, but in the way that we absolutely do not want to be.
For the people we don't want to be.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Fuck.
I'm ready for it.
Hate that.
Honestly, look, there's a price to me, and it's not that high. I think we all know that. All right, Tom. What's your next one?
Okay, my next one is not on the same page as that.
It's probably for the best.
My monkey paw wish number 4 is that people would stop trying to tell me what hot dogs are made of, because I don't care. I don't care, and it's not changing anything. So stop telling me. I know, and I don't care.
Okay, now
That's
they're
my
made
number
of
4.
something much worse.
So you just
Now they're made of people.
So
I mean, that's fine.
They're made of people and piss and vomit. They're the PP and V.
You run into this so often that this made your top 5 list of wishes that you wish people would stop telling you what's in hot dogs.
I can't say I actually run into it like that often, but I've run into it before, and I'm like,
I believe that you run into it more than the average person.
And I'm like, it's just like anything else. Like, you eat what you want to eat.
Yeah,
You're right. Eat what I want to eat,
and you're gonna eat people.
Well, I didn't say
hot dogs are gonna be Soylent Green. Like you're gonna be, and you're not gonna know this, Tom. So maybe it's worse than people. I don't know. Maybe it's dogs.
Nobody's telling me. So
Thomas, all I gotta say is this is the classic far left trying to control you and tell you what to eat.
What you can't put in your body. Last I checked, Andrew, the body is not covered in the Constitution.
I feel like we breezed over Griffin saying eating people was worse than eating a dog.
Well,
no, I said eating a dog is worse than eating people.
Okay, that's what I meant to say. That's what we breezed over.
Yeah, I stand by that. I like dogs. Don't universally like people.
Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna breeze on by that.
Have you seen dogs? A lot of them are gonna be like real stringy, whereas there's a lot of fat ass people that are probably good eating.
Okay, so are we saying our monkey paw for Thomas is that no one will ask him what's in hot dogs, but what's actually in hot dogs are actual dogs?
Oh.
Or
is that too sinister for this?
Because this is one that Thomas can't be like aware of. I feel like we got to like mute him for a minute and decide what it is. But that's just a lot of effort. We don't have a producer for this show. I'm not going to go to those lengths. Whatever's in hot dogs is just whatever Thomas would, I guess, least like to, or least like whatever would upset him the most is what is hot dogs. That could be dogs. Clearly, it's not. Maybe it is people.
Broccoli and beef broccoli.
No, because then you'd be healthier by eating hot dogs, and that doesn't work.
And I wouldn't stop.
Yeah, you'd be the leanest guy in our group. Huge.
I think we're on the same page, Griffin. This is like the obvious choice, is that it's something made of something even more terrible.
But I don't know.
But you don't know. But we all know. Like every time we see you gobbling down a glizzy, everyone is like vomiting in their mouths. I don't like how much I've said vomit on this podcast. I'm starting to lose touch.
You brought it up a lot.
I have.
We don't tell you what's in them, but we just whisper to each other like, that's the guy who eats hot dogs.
Yeah. Like every friend group has a guy who eats poop. You could be the guy who eats poop.
So I'm the only reason hot dogs exist because I'm the only one eating them?
Everyone else is aware of what's in hot dogs, but, you're keeping them in business, dude.
I mean, that's a lot of hot dogs. I didn't say I only eat hot dogs. I just said I don't want to know.
I think
that could,
if
that
this
could be a good
podcast
monkey
has
paw.
shown anything over the years, it's that you do only eat hot dogs.
I just want to clarify. I didn't wish that I didn't know what they were made of. I just don't want to hear about it from people anymore.
Yeah, we're saying you don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, people can't tell you. You don't know, but we all know.
Last suggestion, but I think we're going with that. But I just want to throw this out there. So no one will talk to you about hot dogs, but also no one will talk to you about anything. Just nobody will talk to you.
Just me and my hot dogs.
Yeah, Thomas just sucking down hot dogs on a sunny Sunday afternoon. No one's talking to him. He's just having the time of his life. Come on, man. You just made his life better.
All right, yeah, we'll go with the first one.
All right,
stuff.
Fair enough.
Griffin, you said your 4 was
my 4 was the same as yours. We'll go with the same drawback because
I think that's fair.
As much as I might pretend like that isn't a drawback for me, it absolutely would be. I think that would do a lot of damage to me. And I would probably never leave my own.
It could be a different fan base, but yeah, it's just your fan base is not the people you want it to be.
Yeah, like a lot of Palestinian people or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Just kidding, guys. Just kidding. Getting married to a Palestinian woman about a year from now. We're good. We're chilling.
She is not one of your fans.
We'll stick with what we decided for Andrew.
Okay.
So now
I'm
we're
okay with that.
we're back to Andrew.
All right. Yeah, my number three. It was a tough summer for a lot of us who mosquitoes love. So my number three is that I just omit a mosquito repelling aura at all times so that they just come nowhere near me.
So you're just naturally mosquito repellent.
Yes.
The repellent's got to be for things more than mosquitoes, right? We've
Yeah,
got
right?
to
Yeah.
really hone in on why it's just mosquitoes. I think there's got to be something else that it repels, right?
Or attracts.
Or attracts. That's true.
Yeah.
At the cost of mosquitoes, maybe he's the rat king of DC.
See, I was thinking more like the Greek mythology with the woman who's a cow and the horsefly.
Don't
And
know
so,
that one. Is this another
okay.
like Zeus rape thing?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is.
He turned his mistress into a cow to hide it from Hera, and then Hera made a fly bite her for eternity.
Got it.
So I'm thinking there's like a horsefly or some other bug that's not repelled that is attracted to you nonstop.
It is interesting that he specified mosquitoes when he really could have just like kind of not put that one in the bubble. In my head,
that one's on me.
The way that Thomas is saying it, like in my brain, you end up looking like Pigpen, and you're just surrounded by like gnats and horseflies all the time.
We could just say the natural repellent is just terrible BO. And then
that's true.
If he showers and puts deodorant on, mosquitoes come back.
Or he just can't get rid of the BO. He's just stanky ass motherfucker for the rest of time.
Just Pigpen.
I don't think
you also have to be able to smell your own BO.
I don't think BO repels mosquitoes though, but I guess
in
this scenario, this magic.
This monkey paw. I don't like that Thomas and I both started expanding our hands at the same time. Again, as if we're conjuring a genie, because we've clearly lost the script on it being a monkey's paw.
Oh, see, I was going more like black bear, like looking big.
Black bear. Cool. Yeah, make yourself scary for the pod. This might be its solution, is to give you just like very specific BO that does repel mosquitoes, but to keep in the theme makes people throw up in their mouths.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a simple one, but I think that makes sense because it would repel them, but it would just be bad for you.
Yeah. It's not necessarily repelling everybody, because again, that might be a win for you. You're just being like lonely forever. Like that might be like something you're looking forward to, but I want it to be uncomfortable for people to be around you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to another idea, but I think that's pretty good.
Anytime he's around other people, mosquitoes attack them instead.
I mean, that to me is little taste of their own medicine for the people who never get bit by mosquitoes. Like,
what about the people who already do get bit by mosquitoes?
But I also feel like he could turn that to his advantage and start robbing banks, and everyone's so distracted by the mosquito. Like he could train the mosquitoes.
Sure. Yeah, instead of a rat king, he's the mosquito handler or something like that. Yeah, I don't want you to be like the emperor of some type of insect. That would not be great for us.
I'm just out here giving malaria to everyone.
I want him to be in the most uncomfortable seat on the bus while also smelling bad.
Yeah, well, he's got to have just disgusting BO.
We're just piling your wishes on top of
each other. An unfixable BO, I think would be how we would put that.
Yeah.
Cool, fantastic.
That works Andrew, for me. That works for me.
So far, dude, you suck.
It's tough stuff for me.
You're a far right loner who just smells like butt.
I know I wiped out all of life on Earth, but yours seems worse.
I would rather hang out with Thomas. So far, where we are right now, even knowing that he's eating dog, person, or poop. Like, it is what it is.
But we can
Or-
still make a great living doing list night. You don't have to be near me because we're doing it on Zoom because you don't live in the same city as
I
me, and
won't
I
be
have
near
no
you. I can
mosquitoes
assure
around me.
you, I
That's
will not
true.
be near you.
And I get everywhere I want to go on time. People on the bus that I sit next to hate me, but it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, look, this episode I was late to. So if all I have in my life is list night and engaging with you guys from a different city, I guess it wouldn't affect me that much if you had BO. Cool.
Right.
All right, cool. That's
true.
Sucks for your personal life, sucks for your girlfriend, sucks for your really anybody in that city that I put you in, because I have placed you in a city with all these people. So that's a bummer for them. But in a way, it's making my list a little better.
Yeah, but no bug bites, so like he's kind of winning.
Yeah, I'm chilling.
That's true. No bug bites. That is a huge win. All right.
Okay.
Tommy.
So my number 3 is that between 14,000 and 29,000 years ago, when the dog was first domesticated, they also domesticated other animals. And just 3 quick examples off the top of the head. I don't know. Bears, lions, hippos.
Big
So
Bear
nowadays,
podcast for you.
Big Bear podcast. I would wish that. So hypothetically, nowadays there would be domesticated and evolved bears, big cats, and hippos as pets.
Here's an immediate pushback, and I'm sorry that I keep jumping in super quickly. I think on one of your previous lists, you said one of your biggest pet peeves was people whose dogs shit places and they don't clean up after their pets. Now you've got hippo shit everywhere. You're living in a sea of hippo shit because now
that's
everyone,
fair.
all these people have bears and do you say big cats?
Yeah, big cats.
And big cats and hippos. And not only that, but think about dogs getting in fights or dogs getting in fights with little cats and all that. Now you've got lions attacking hippos and maybe hippos attacking lions. I don't really know how that food chain shakes out.
That's fair, but also in my head, we went from wolves to chihuahuas. So like there is a change in there somewhere, but that's a fair point.
So we could even go as far as saying like we've domesticated hippos to the point where they're like pigs. Like if you want to shrink them down, that means everyone's going everywhere with pig shit. That's a pass for me, dog.
Like a teacup hippo.
Yeah, but I mean, if that's the case, then your wish is kind of lame. Like, though, I thought the whole point of your wish was that it's like these big badass animals that are now like your pets.
I feel like he just thinks dogs aren't cool enough looking or something.
It wasn't about badass. I think it's just more about having options without being that guy who has a wild animal as a pet.
There already are. Get a parakeet. Dude.
Thomas, notorious
birds,
dog and pet hater, wants more options.
Guy's got a dog, maybe in the room with him right now,
somewhere around here.
So here's
what
I was just gonna say, like, pets great, but not all pets are equal in terms of their how well behaved they are. So I'm just gonna say, no matter what pet you get, like you can get a pet lion, but it's like it's going to be a fucking nightmare. It's going to be like the worst pet lion in the neighborhood. Like it goes and bites you, which will probably result in your death. It, shits in your house. It, does everything wrong. So
I just get a really big litter box.
Yeah. I was watching Jumanji the other day, the new movie with The Rock's first time I've seen it. And I don't want to give you guys any spoilers. Back to the Rock. I mean, he is a national, international, global treasure. But I think the first death that occurs in that movie, because they have like a series of lives that they have in Jumanji, the first death that occurs is somebody getting eaten by a hippo. And this is one hippo. So if there's hippos everywhere and there's lions everywhere and there's bears everywhere, and we're not taking dogs off the table, like dogs still exist. Yeah, oh my is the fucking word. We're living in a bloodbath, dude. Like, I guess no one's gonna know that it's how bad it is because you're essentially time traveling to make this work. Yeah, you're going back in time and changing something, but we might never make it out of the Stone Age.
Yeah. My last thought, Thomas, is that you can have a pet lion. You can even be best friends with a lion, but you also have to be best friends with a scarecrow and a tin man. And
Here's
you're
why I
like,
don't like that. I don't
Isn't
like
that
that
you
because
too?
Thomas now has more best friends than he previously had.
Well, isn't that
You've
just
just
you too?
expanded his friend circle.
yeah, no, my vote, Griffin, is that he just has whatever pet he has is terribly behaved.
Terribly behaving.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's going to be just like there's Reddit posts about how people should put down like every pit bull ever. People are going to be just banging down your door trying to put down your hippo. I don't know why I'm assuming of all these animals you choose a hippo. It just feels like it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I want to swim with the hippo without dying.
Yeah.
I will say at one point my number 3 was that Pokemon existed, but I feel like we've gone down that road too many times.
We have. I think that was one of our fictional worlds we'd want to live in, and we were like, yeah, it'd be like a battle royale all the time.
All the time. Exactly. So it was like, too much.
And if you want world peace, Pokemon are very
It's off the
anti-world
table.
peace. Yeah.
I will say having a terribly behaved pet over and over again would discourage me from getting a pet. So
and we know how you get when you're discouraged.
That is a fair drawback.
Sure.
Devastating, but fair.
Yeah. Good. All right. I didn't think this was going to be such a bummer of an episode. I don't know why I didn't think that, but now I'm like, man, this one hurts. I'm
having the time of my life.
That makes a lot of sense to me, dude.
I asked Aaron for suggestions, and hers were one of them. She was like, "Wish that you could pet Baloo one more time," and I was like,
That's
what? I was like,
a really, really good segue into my next one. And you already had a good segue into my next one. It was eternal youth for all my pets.
See,
tell me why. Tell me what the drawback to that is, Thomas. Yeah. Go up that road.
They're not your pets anymore.
Well, I mean, in some cases, that's already the case.
Hmm.
Keep the bummers coming.
So wait. Eternal life for like all animals or specifically?
I said eternal youth for all of my pets, which I'm now realizing pretty selfish of me.
Yeah,
but that is how I phrase it, and I'm committed to it.
Okay.
Okay. They're eternally 1 minute old.
Oh.
Okay.
That's sadder than anything else.
And gross. It's gonna be gross. It's gonna be like sticky and wet and just awful and yappy and bitey, but without teeth. Yeah, that would probably put me off dogs, dude.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything other. I mean,
I'm not saying that I would be giving up my dogs pretty quickly, but I'd be giving up my dogs pretty quickly.
The only one I'd say was that like you would be dead.
You'd be giving up your dogs much quicker than Thomas would be giving up his weird meat hot dogs.
Yeah, Thomas is his hot dogs too. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things that Thomas, no matter what, is going to commit to regardless of the drawbacks. Thomas doesn't understand consequences.
What?
It's all right. We'll tell you about it later, dude. We'll explain it off pod. Yeah, that's a good one. I think you got it kind of in one. That would really bum me out.
And now that I think about it, like the whole monkey paw story is like, it's not like kind of bad drawbacks. It's like the worst drawback.
Yeah.
Right. Isn't like
eternally
the entire premise of the show Fairly Odd Parents that he basically has monkey paw wishes every single time he makes a wish?
Yeah, essentially. I
mean, I never thought about it that way. But
it's like
the
his
entire
failures when he makes the wishes, right? Like it's not like there's not actually like an actual downside. Like it's not Wanda and
Cosmo
who are like fucking up the wishes. It's that Timmy can't get out of his own way. Whereas in this case,
essentially.
Well, I guess in this case, we can't get out of our own way either because we're not being specific enough in our wishes.
Well,
and we have two people actively working against us.
More Fairly Odd Parents is like, you have to work for what you want. You can't just wish it because,
sure,
grass is not always green on the other side type shit. Okay, so your animals are just disgusting things.
Yeah.
Mine just are out there killing people. Apparently.
Mutant babies. This is a very pet-focused pod. I really didn't. I mean, I guess I could have suspected it would go in this direction. All right, cool. Number 2, Andrew.
Yep. All right, my number 2 is kind of a pretty mainstream one. I just unlimited money. I have unlimited money, and it does not like me spending it or hoarding it does not like negatively impact the global economy.
Okay, so you just added extra shit at the end there. All right. Unlimited money, but you're not destroying the value of money. You're not destroying the global economy, is what you said, right?
That's what I said. Yes.
Okay. I mean, it could cause you to be completely like ambivalent towards life as a whole. You have nothing to work for ever again. You have like when you can have everything.
Don't tempt me with a good time, Griffin.
Oh shit, dude, it's a pretty good one. Usually people say unlimited money, they don't add that shit at the end. I was ready for that shit at the end. I was like, yeah, you'll tank the global economy, but you specified.
But what if it's like whatever Britney Spears has been a conservatorship? What is it?
Conservation or no, not conservation.
Conservatorship or
conservatorship. So like,
is that how you pronounce that?
No,
that
it's not. That's not right. We sound like idiots right now. I don't know.
I can't be right. I can't. Yeah. Whatever.
Good old conservative politicians at it again.
You have all this money, but you don't have any control over it. Like you essentially have a guardian.
Yeah.
Who controls everything?
Who is that guardian?
Oh, well, it's clearly the two of us.
It's obviously the two of us.
I don't know who else in your life would take on that responsibility of being present in all of your decisions.
And this is turned
with the way
out
that
to be
you
a great
smell,
wish
Andrew. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the easy one is like you're not fulfilled, like you're sad, but
you're already sad though. But you're sad and rich, so like that's still a win for you.
It's an upgrade.
Yeah. I was gonna say like maybe nobody accepts your money. Like, yeah, you have all, but then we're just completely diminishing what the word money means in this context.
I almost think it has to be just like the list night one. Like, yes, you have all this money, but it came to you in unethical, morally questionable ways, and now you have to live with that.
Yeah. I'm good with that, or I'm good with other people controlling your. Oh, you got something.
This is the second time he's clapped on the podcast.
I hit the table earlier. We've lost the ability to make good audio.
I want Griffin to know when to start editing. It's when I clap.
Sure.
Okay. You said earlier that I'm the only one keeping the hot dog businesses in business, and they are made of something that is worse than what they're currently made of. Andrew's running the hot dog businesses. So whatever's in the hot dogs, Andrew's actively deciding to put him in the hot dogs. So if that's people, Andrew is the one.
Wait.
This is the entire plot of whatever Soylent Green is part of. I don't remember what book it is.
Snowpiercer.
This has resulted in enough sales to give me unlimited money. Like you're buying that many hot dogs that
Tom is a hungry boy, dude. Tom is a hungry boy. Well, no, we said everyone else knows and they should be disgusted by it. That doesn't mean everyone is going to be disgusted by it. Right. You saw me straight up say I would rather eat person than dog. And really, it's not even that I'm that against eating people. Like I just don't, I'm not against it. I wouldn't rule it out. This is a pro cannibalism podcast. We're gonna get Army Hammer on here one of these days.
Oh, Soylent Green is a movie itself.
Is the name of the movie Soylent Green? Okay. The Snowpiercer plot line would, I think originally, and this is just a little like inside baseball, it must have originally been people that was the food in Snowpiercer. Because there's no way characters in Snowpiercer are disgusted by the fact that they previously have eaten people and now they're disgusted by the fact that they're eating roaches. Like that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. I would much rather eat roaches than people. So it doesn't matter. Soylent Green is people.
I agree, Andrew. There's no way I'm buying enough hot dogs to make you that rich. But along that path line is, you came by your money in ways that to keep you up at night.
Yeah. Yeah.
You Thomas, you prefer that to your other suggestion where other people, we control his money?
I like both. So
I like it better if he's living under our thumb.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
And this is like he's not Brittany. He's not getting out of this shit.
Yeah,
this is
we're not
till death do we part.
We go on trips with your money and we bring you, but you stay in the room.
Yeah, well, I can't even be in the same city as you half the time. But yeah, I'm going to other places.
I love how we just like connected all of our lists together. Like we're building a cinematic universe of Monkey Paw Wishes that all exist in the same timeline.
I'd watch this movie. I wouldn't make this movie. I couldn't make this movie, but I'd watch this movie.
This is a bigger crossover than the Just Friends
Rat race.
Rat
Rat
Race.
Race. Yeah, there's a little
Wow.
there's a little bit of Bruce Almighty to this one.
A little bit.
Yeah. All right, Tommy.
Okay. I, this one's actually feels a little boring now after some of the other ones, or more about just the drawbacks. I had to have one like wish for superpower on my list without having too many. So I went with because I've been traveling here and there for weddings this whole summer, teleportation. I would like to be able. I don't care if I have a superpower to teleport or if there's just the technology, but I want teleportation to exist and I can use it.
You never know where you're gonna end up.
Fuck, see, I kind of figured that'd be the first one, and I thought about
Or every time you teleport, it replaces somebody at your destination. They don't get to go where you were. They just don't exist anymore.
Oh.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I thought you meant just like they swap, like in Mario
Yeah.
Party.
No, I like this one because I think it raises the real, because that doesn't raise a massive moral conundrum because you could always swap back with them a couple hours later. This one, Thomas is cognizant of the fact that if he's going from DC to Chicago, someone in Chicago is dying. And if he chooses to not get on a plane back to DC, someone in DC is dying on the return trip. He knows every single time he does this that population counter is dropping by 1.
Is this how I kill everyone on Earth?
Very slowly and with a lot of teleportation.
This is part of your plan to achieve world peace.
The kid's just popping around.
I took too many left turns. Should have taken a right.
Yeah, he's like he's not even walking to the stop sign down the street. He's just popping over there, and the crossing guard doesn't exist anymore.
I like it. Well, I don't like it, but I think it's a good monkey paw. But do we think it's a bit of a cop out? Because I feel like we could just say like, oh, if you do anything on your list, then someone has to die. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of.
Would I know? I would know.
Yeah, like let's say again to stick with the example of you're bouncing from DC to Chicago. You're in DC. You've got a dinner date in Chicago. You teleport to Chicago. You end up in a baby carriage. Mother screaming, father screaming, dog freaking out. Where's the baby, Thomas?
Don't ask me.
I hope it's a great dinner, buddy. I hope there's hot dogs for fucking days.
Yeah,
I mean that's a pretty awful. I agree with Andrew though. We can't just have someone dies every time, for every wish.
But we don't have to go with that one.
Well, I do think, Griffin, I do think yours is a little bit more creative than that because you're saying he's physically taking the space. Like the teleportation is the problem. It's what's causing the death. It's like you're physically taking over someone's space, so therefore they just vanish.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that you're like baby size because that'd be hilarious, but it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. And you're not like becoming. I mean, I guess you could inhabit. No, I don't want you inhabiting the body of who you took.
I replace somebody. They're gone, and then I have to live with the repercussions of in your scenario, mother and father being there. And
there's a little sucking sound and then a pop, like an air suck sound, not like somebody sucking something, and then a pop, and then parents of 2 or parents of 1, or they try and raise you as their baby boy.
Less egregious, but maybe depending on how you look at it, maybe more annoying. Monkey paw for this one would be like the opposite of my number 5. So teleportation exists, but like there's always delays. Like you're at the mercy of like when you like the teleportation companies can just like schedule.
There's a recharge on it.
Yeah, it's like just inconvenient. It's never as like every once in a while you're like, yeah, this is great. I teleported to New York City in no time, but most of the time it's like, yeah, this is like unrebeliable.
TSA
so it's like airline travel.
Yeah, and there's like TSA. Yeah, exactly.
There's TSA for the I mean, we could even keep the acronym, honestly.
True.
The teleportation
security administration.
Security
Yeah. Is it safety or security? It's security. You're right.
Security, I think.
I'm pretty sure you're right. Not my
All right,
favorite
so what is it?
organization.
All right, so what are we going with, Griffin? Are we going with minor inconvenience or mass death?
Whoa, not mass death, singular murder.
Depending on how often you use it.
Depending how often I teleport.
Thomas, I think all you needed to do is have like a series of 3 or more killings that follow the same thing to become a serial killer. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you're gonna be, but I'm not gonna rule it out. Andrew, I'll defer to you, whichever one you like better.
Let's go with yours, the murder one.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say minor inconvenience.
Well, you convinced me with the baby.
That's what did it. That's what convinced
The
you was
baby.
the baby thing.
Well, the idea of Thomas just appearing in the baby carriage.
The mental image of it, him clambering out of the carriage, and just the horror on these people's faces. This is the movie that I want to make.
I mean,
this is the horror movie that we need to make.
How many teleportations before I'm hunted down? You know,
Thomas, you had a world peace that led to nobody being left alive. So, like, I don't know where your moral boundary is, and you can keep teleporting away.
It wasn't my world peace. I chose that one for the people.
Let's say you're being hunted down. I mean, like, you could be like a renowned mass murderer and nobody can hunt you down because how are they ever going to catch you? You can just teleport into their bodies.
Killing people.
Yeah. You could be like, oh, there's 6 guys outside my door. Pop, 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 pop. A bunch of air. Now there's nobody but Thomas crying on his doorstep.
Oh, God.
Okay. And this also leads to the potential for funny situations where you're like, I want to, you're locked out of your house, but you can't teleport back into your house because no one's in there. You can't take them over.
So someone has to be there for me even to
teleport.
I mean, just because you have teleportation doesn't mean you need to like forget your keys and like not be,
right. I'm just saying in this scenario where he popped out of the house to kill these 6 TSA agents,
he forgot his keys.
He cannot get back in that. He's got to do the elbow into the glass move.
Okay. All right.
I'm next. That's right. Yeah. I do come after Thomas. Okay, so Thomas is the murder guy. That's what we've established.
Twice now.
In keeping a little bit with the superpower thing, not necessarily a superpower, but I guess a super technology could be a power. My number 2 is a redo button. I'd like the ability to. I didn't set a time on this. I'm going to say 60 seconds. I'm going to say 60 seconds, just so that there is some sort of constraints around this. I want the ability to jump backwards 60 seconds and redo something.
So can I get some clarification?
Yes. That's what this podcast is.
Maximum 60 seconds or only 60 seconds? Like you can't change the time. It's always 60 seconds.
Oh, it's a good question. That is a good clarification. I'm going to say I can't change it. I have to go back 60 seconds. I always go back 1 minute.
And you know it's happening, but no one else does.
No one else knows it's happened. You and I are at the end of a conversation. I said something wrong. I'm now 1 minute earlier in that conversation, and you just pick up.
For the sake of my life, I wish you had that ability so you could have had better conversations.
I think a lot of people wish I had that ability.
The easy one is every time you hit redo, a baby dies.
It's like an angel loses its wings.
So, no. Okay.
I say one thing about babies dying, and now you're the baby dying guy.
An angel loses its wings. We're the It's a Wonderful Life podcast. This is a good one. You could do a lot of things with this. Like, you could correct like a lot of minor mistakes, but you could also like probably make a ton of money just like on live betting and just like stuff. 60 seconds is enough time. I feel like if you're in the right spot at the right time, that you could like do a lot.
I mean, with FanDuel and DraftKings at this point, you're live betting. I mean, like you're wealthy.
Yeah.
You're getting limited pretty quickly on their apps, but you are wealthy.
Thomas, do you have something?
I mean, I feel like this is like too much. Like this isn't a drawback. It cancels out. So like I was gonna say, like every time you go back 60 seconds, like after that 60 seconds finishes, you then go forward 30 seconds. But that kind of cancels it out. So I don't think that works. You need to draw back, not a.
don't hate the concept of what you're saying. I go back 60 seconds, 60 seconds elapses. So I'm back at the point where I triggered the redo. And now I jump
30.
forward
jump
30 seconds or a minute.
Yeah.
So I don't know what has happened in that minute, and I cannot rewind that.
Yeah.
Because then I would essentially have to do it every minute for the rest of my life, and that would be awful.
Or I like that idea, Thomas, but why do we have to limit it to like immediately following that repeated minute? You skip the next minute. Your life just for every time you go back. At some point, it just skips ahead. And it could be at the most inconvenient times. I'm gonna say Thomas and I have control over when it skips forward 60 seconds. If you've built up like a bank, like you've gone back in time 200 times, then Thomas and I have a bank of 200 times that we could just send you forward a minute.
And I don't know what happened. To be clear, I don't know what's happening in those minutes. So I'm basically like living in Memento, the Nolan movie, and I'm trying to piece my life together, but you can just keep bouncing me.
I would have to say in those 60 seconds, like we could have a conversation and I don't notice anything's off, but you don't remember it.
Cool. So I'm like the most depressing version of Alzheimer's. And the normal version of Alzheimer's is already really fucking depressing.
It's funny, but I already have control of Andrew's money, so I don't need control of Griffin's time. But I do like, Andrew, I like the random aspect of, it's not directly after. It's at some point. For every 60 seconds you go back, you jump 60 seconds at some point.
Yeah.
And I can't go back that 60 seconds because I don't even know that it's happened.
Yeah.
This time travel ones are confusing. And we almost did this entire episode on a completely separate time traveling topic. Yeah. So let's get ready for that, because
that's what led to me thinking of this as an item, was our potential alternate topic for this week, which we'll save for the next episode in 6 months.
Yeah.
The only, I mean, it just sounds repetitive now to say like someone else somewhere else goes back 60 seconds without knowing it. That feels repetitive now. So I like that he goes forward 60 seconds at some point. He doesn't know when.
It's not our best, but it's what we have for now. So
that's how I would describe this podcast.
I think it's so inconvenient that it makes you think twice about redoing.
Yeah, we're just giving Griffin just very minor dementia. Okay. Number one for me is and I'm surprised this hasn't come up on either of your lists yet. And maybe it's both of your number ones also. It's definitely Thomas's number one, but it's my number one. Eat whatever I want without gaining weight or adversely affecting my health. So like I said, I'm assuming that this is just your guy's number one too.
This is so easy. This is not my number one. This is an easy drawback. You lose taste. You don't have a sense of taste.
Yeah.
Nothing you eat will ever, the Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, where he's pouring the grog down his throat and he's talking about how he hasn't tasted an apple in years. That's your everyday life. That's your life forever. They did just add it to Hulu, I think.
Yeah, I just watched it 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I think Griffin's right. That's like the easy one. The only other one, and I think it's also an easy one, is like you can taste it, but you're never satisfied. Like not just like you're never full, but like you're never satisfied.
You never so he never enjoys a meal. Yeah.
You're always craving something else. And as soon as you get that, you're already craving something else. Yeah. Also, Andrew, this was definitely considered for every spot on my list.
Yeah, so you're like physically retaining your 6.5 out of 10, whatever. But are you enjoying the meal? You're still enjoying the meal, but you're just like never satiated after it. Like you never feel full.
Yeah, I feel like you're craving cheesecake, and then you finally get cheesecake, and by the time you finish your cheesecake, you're already craving something else, and the cheesecake didn't do it.
So he's just always hungry.
You've turned this into a very expensive problem for me to have.
More than hungry, more like a true craving, not like like I don't want it to be like I have a bottomless stomach.
Yeah, I guess you said it. You said it correctly at the beginning. You said never satisfied.
Yeah, just never satisfied. I mean, I think taste is honestly just as good. It's mine
is meaner. I think yours is better.
I think yours is meaner because then he's gonna like he only needs to eat to fill up. With mine, he wants something he can't get.
Yeah, he just constantly craving. God, that would honestly drive me insane. I would be happy not having taste. That would drive me insane, I think.
Watching you two brainstorm together, you guys are fucking psychopaths. Just trying to figure out what is gonna make me more miserable.
We're going out of the direction of the mean one into the one that will break your brain. So I guess they're both the mean one.
I do feel like this episode has brought out the best and worst of us.
Yeah. The best of us is the worst of us. Our lives are monkey paws.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have something else, I'm open, but I think never satisfied is pretty
Never
good.
satisfied is a good one. I like that.
Yeah. Like you could again, you can still taste it all and it tastes great, but you always want the next thing.
Yeah. Yeah, not the first food related thing we've said, although you're right. It is kind of crazy that none of us said this. Thomas was obviously more like the people in his life annoy him. What annoys you? People's knees is basically what Thomas said. Yeah, okay. All right, Tom, you're up.
This is not time travel, but I would like to be able to talk to my past self. Like I'm not going to the time period, but I could communicate with my past self.
Okay. And at any time, like any age, you can just
I mean
pop up and talk to.
I don't want to like write a contract out with you fill in all the gaps you can and drawbacks. But yeah, in my mind is that I can pick a time to contact myself. I can't contact future me, just past.
I'm hesitant to even like change this wish at all because we talk to you and it's not pleasant.
Yeah, that means more of you talking to you.
Yeah,
so you have to feel what we feel, except not only are you talking to current shitty you, you've also got to talk to like 11-year-old you who was probably
you said
worse.
That with such a big smile, and it was just so mean.
It's pretty cutting. It's kind of the meanest thing he said.
Enjoy your wish.
His drawback to your wish was you're Thomas.
Don't come crawling back to us when you can't take it anymore.
I guess we could say the only person you could talk to is the earlier you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would drive me crazy.
Yeah, you're not making it a month.
I'm trying to think, like maybe like I would assume that the reason that this would be so useful is to like give yourself, advice. You learn more as you grow up. So I kind of want to say like every time you go and talk to yourself, you find that the younger version of you is smarter than the older version. So like the older version is like basically you just keep declining in your life.
I mean, we don't necessarily. Is he always talking to the same earlier version of himself?
Maybe I guess then you get into the like, am I creating a second timeline there?
Yeah.
Because when I like at some point there's a turning point.
I don't like that there's a world where there's a great version of Thomas because he's learned from his mistakes. I feel like both versions of Thomas have to suffer in this
simultaneously.
Yeah, this sixth grader's got to feel as shitty as this whatever age you are now.
You can't say like 20th grader.
Yeah. I don't know why I didn't just say 11-year-old, but I like where you're going with it, Andrew. There has to be some sort of limitation that makes this. Huh.
Didn't think this was gonna stump you.
Did you skip ahead 60 seconds, Griffin?
I wish I could, because that means we may have thought of something in that time. I don't have like a terrible drawback to this. Like I feel like anything that we say is going to be too similar to other stuff where it's like, yeah, it just fucks your life up. Like I don't want to just keep fucking your life up.
Yeah, that's fair.
You don't need a monkey paw to fuck your life up, Thomas. We know that.
I mean, like all these are decent. I guess my vote right now would just be that you can talk to yourself, but that's the only person you can talk to. It's just you.
That's awful. That's bad. No wonder I start teleporting and killing everybody.
Maybe there's
Yeah.
multiple versions of you that are all arguing with each other or something. Like you can talk to yourself. Like you 30-year-old Thomas can talk to 11-year-old Thomas, or 15 or 16 or whatever. But 45-year-old Thomas can talk too, and he might disagree with 30-year-old Thomas. So 11-year-old Thomas is losing his fucking mind.
Or you always like you often lie to yourself. So you you go to talk to your 11-year-old self.
I already do.
And
you
you're
could
like,
say he could only tell lies.
Like, right, you could only tell, like, you just, instead of like using the time wisely, you're just like bragging to your 11-year-old self. You're like, yeah, I played high school varsity basketball, and like
we can check tape.
Yeah, yeah. Everything's
God, I hope
great.
your sister listens to this episode.
But would that potentially be me essentially manifesting for 11-year-old me?
Yeah, you're right. If anything, that would just inspire your 11-year-old
or it could
self and
make
build
them
confidence.
think that he could think he's on the right path when he's on the absolute wrong. If you're like talking to elementary school you, and you're like, yeah, when you get to high school, you're varsity basketball player as a freshman, and you're like, okay, like whatever I do, it's going to work out. I'm going to play varsity basketball as a freshman. Then you get to high school, your freshman year, you go out for basketball, you don't know how to dribble a basketball or do anything else, and you get laughed out of the gym.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I think this could first inspire confidence in you, but then fuck you up like mentally a lot.
So you're saying that no matter what I try, I only talk like in lies and hyperbole.
Yeah, but you're not like the devil whispering on the shoulder where they're like young you is not like aware that you're lying to them.
Yeah,
young you has to think that you're being honest with them.
But I was saying like current me, not old, like young, current, tough, strong, tall me.
I go back practicing his lying.
Those are all words that your older version will say to you at some point. Maybe your older version already has said those words to you.
But like no matter what intentions I have to go back and say, I can't help but brag about my high school days. Essentially.
I mean, it doesn't have to be your high school days.
No, I know, but
that's
just an example. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're just telling fibs the entire time, and I don't know, because I guess this kid isn't going to grow up to be you. So like you're setting yourself on an alternate timeline, and this is getting in the weeds a lot.
Sad.
You're just but you also want to communicate with this version of yourself. I don't know.
Like even if I go back in time and I'm like, hey, put money in GameStop, what I really would be saying is like, yeah, I own a GameStop.
Yeah, that could be it. Yeah, no matter what you say, you could be saying the right thing to them, but it's going to come out as a lie.
Okay.
Or because I don't want to give you like, I don't want to make you omnipotent where you can like change reality as you so choose by telling lies.
But you can change your reality in your head all you want.
Well, Andrew, if you read The Secret, buddy, you can do that already.
I will say
that's what I'm saying.
I actually don't know what The Secret's about. I just assume it's about that.
I like this better than I can only talk to myself. So
yeah, no, that we got a little bit more.
Anyone would like this better than they can only talk to Thomas. I say to Thomas.
Honestly, you guys have been really mean during this pick. All right,
Tom. I'll be genuine with you for a moment. I'll put myself out there. If you were the only guy I could talk to for the rest of my life, it'd be a short life.
Yeah, it'd be pretty short, but longer.
It wouldn't be like a zero life. Like I'd make it a few years, but it'd be a short life.
I imagine you'd go into a house alone and you'd be like, "Hey Thomas, can you teleport here? There's someone else here. I promise."
Just me and all my baby dogs.
Okay.
All right, cool. My last one's pretty boring, but I wanted to see how you guys would poke holes in it. In keeping with no, fuck that. I am not interested in that. In keeping with the eternal youth, I want eternal youth in the prime of my life.
Do you have?
Yeah.
When was that? I like how we're both just assuming it's in the past.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's clearly the best. 23. This I'm not this so, and this could be the hole you poke in it. I just mean like whatever your like physical prime is.
So okay, so you're not saying that you're immortal. You're just saying you will die a natural death, but
No,
you
I'm
will.
immortal.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
You don't age.
eternal youth, meaning forever.
And
I
you're
am
not
forever,
aging.
whatever the period of my life where I was the best version of myself physically.
23. What year is that?
I feel like living forever in and of itself is a monkey paw. You just did that to
2015. It was
yourself.
the year that we graduated college.
And you don't think you looked young?
In 2015, I was 23. I didn't think I looked young. I think I looked awesome. Are you going to Facebook to find pictures of me from 2015?
Yeah.
I looked good that year, man. Let me have this. Or I guess don't. Maybe that's the drawback.
We'll let our audience be the judge of that. Please edit a picture of 2015 Griffin on there.
Sure.
I don't know if I know my password from Facebook.
Yeah, you're not a big Facebook guy.
While you guys are doing research, I just like this to me is just the most classic like wish that you
Griffin?
are not really gonna want. Like eternal life. Like I don't care if you're 23 the entire time. Like if you had said like I live 100 years but I have the physical, health of a 23-year-old the whole time, great. Like I'd be like that's a great wish. But this to me is too much.
I like the idea of immortality, but I understand why other people don't.
Yeah, I'm with Andrew. I also I don't want the drawback to be you'll be so lonely,
Sure.
I feel like it needs to be a drawback.
You're somehow gonna survive after Thomas wipes everyone out and there's world peace. It's just you left, Griffin. Your 23-year-old
maybe I'm in like baby Thomas's reality or something like that. I'm hanging out with 6th grade Thomas, which I don't want to get into the nuance of a 23-year-old hanging out with 6th grade Thomas. I'm not.
Shout out.
Bleep that in the edit.
I mean, I guess you don't look that young.
I don't look that young.
You don't look
23 is not that. I mean, like 23 is young in the grand scheme of things, but you're like a full-grown adult.
But I guess I'm also thinking of myself as I had less facial hair and I looked much younger.
Yeah, if you had said 23, I would have an objection to it. But 23 was probably my peak.
Okay, how about
so sad because I'm 31.
How about you're always 23, but you can't drive and you're colorblind?
You're such a piece of shit. Granted, I don't know. I can't be offended at that based on the things that I've said to Thomas this episode.
That's good.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough for me.
I don't know. Like, if you had said younger, I'd say you're stuck in high school. Like, you're stuck in school. 23.
I mean, I could be stuck at a different time, conceivably. Like, the rest of the world is not specifically in a certain year. But I could be stuck in 2015. I don't know.
Okay, so all right, let's do 2015 then. You're 23, but you always work for DC Frey and you're always dating your ex.
Cool.
I feel like I'm losing track of the fun nature of this podcast. We're getting a little too real here.
Well, this is the last pick, so you're allowed to lose track of
it. I mean, we could go with, again, this is probably too boring because it's just about someone else. Essentially, your youth comes from taking it from someone else.
Like picture of Dorian Gray.
Yeah, or like more like but like you say 23 and someone skips 23.
Hopefully it's you, because clearly it wasn't a great year.
But that's just more of the same of like I tell when someone dies.
I also like that's not a big enough drawback because a lot of people are gonna be like, yeah, I missed a year, like 23.
True.
Could not have been their prime. Maybe it got them closer to their prime. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to like. I think it should be something like something that's happened in the 8 years since you're 23 does not and could never happen because you're stuck at 23. And like Andrew said, like, yeah, maybe you're stuck in the same job for
Yeah.
eternity.
Vino wasn't born. Raya wasn't born.
Harper was though.
It's true.
But she's only 1 minute old.
That's true.
That's right.
Yeah, I can't get rid of all my pets.
Yeah, she's a gross little street dog, 1 minute old.
She wouldn't have been a street dog yet. Maybe she would have. I don't know where she was born.
I feel like the easy one is like you die or you are alone and sad because everyone around you dies. But that's boring.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna
Play
say. My first choice is just we do nothing, Thomas. We just let him have it because he's gonna go insane after. Not I was gonna say after 100 years. After like 2 years, he would go insane. Probably
not that much time. Not that much. I'm not that far from it, and I age normally.
So the most evil thing to do would probably just be let him tear himself down.
Let him have this.
Yeah, let him have this.
Or we could do like, yeah, you're eternally 23, but you don't get to decide where you live, where you are. Like, you have to live in fucking.
Pick wisely here.
I don't know, middle of nowhere, Nebraska, in a cornfield. Right. Like, you know, like.
Not the direction I thought you were going to go in. You covered that well.
Or I'm just saying, like, somewhere like people like it, but like you definitely wouldn't.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like,
or
there's no water.
Or we just find out that Blink 182 is right all along and nobody likes you ever.
Nobody likes you.
I mean, that's an easy one. I mean, I like, not to sway you guys either way, because I think this would be awful, but the obvious one is like, let him have it, because it's gonna, like, it's the same thing with eternal youth and immortality and everything. Like it's always a monkey paw wish. Eternal youth is always a monkey paw wish.
The problem is that like you're not going to feel that for a long time. I want you to feel regret immediately.
I mean, I could have eternal youth, but like I could.
You get dumber. Every year you get a little dumber.
we are talking about the physical.
Third idea Thomas has had.
I could get
eternal
dumber.
Youth. But you are 5'2".
Yes. All right.
I said physical prime.
Oh, damn!
I mean, you could still be in good shape, but you're 5'2".
That I would not consider 5'2" my prime. I think we all agree on that.
Damn, you did say physical prime.
No offense to the short kings out there.
I mean, and we could just give it to him, Andrew. Let him sink his own ship. That seems too easy.
Your wish is our command, Griffin.
All right. I'm gonna sink my own ship.
Honestly, but Thomas,
it feels like a masturbation joke for some reason.
Well, honestly, like no matter what we choose, he's getting his wit. Like he's getting the eternal. So we should give him something. I guess my next vote would be what I said about you're stuck in like your actual 23-year-old year of 2015, and you work for DC Freight.
So I'm endlessly So am I endlessly repeating May 8th, 2015 to May 7th, 2016, or
I don't think.
Do I just have to do all the same stuff that I was doing in 2015 forever? Because then is everyone else immortal?
Or is it
like you immortal in this situation? Am I having to hang out with 85-year-old you?
He's eternally 23, but he can't masturbate ever again.
That would suck.
Yeah. All right, let's go with that.
I don't want to put that.
I'm tired of thinking about it,
man.
Yep.
Oh,
too late now.
My mom's gonna listen to this. She's like our biggest fan.
No fap eternity for Griffin.
Can't touch himself is what I put in my notes.
That's
okay, good. Thomas, you have the notes, because I was like, do I do a recap? But I don't remember all the monkey paws of mine. I'll just give my recap and see what I can remember. I'll call up to you.
Andrew. Let's jump into your recap. We'll get out of here.
Yeah. So my number 5 was to always have perfectly timed transportation, and the drawback of that you guys decided was that I always have to be uncomfortable, sit in an uncomfortable seat next to uncomfortable people, blah blah blah. Number 4, I had make list night a full-time career, and you guys decided that the way that would work is if we got very popular among right-wing America, and we just became grifters for that group of people. My number 3 was to have a mosquito repelling aura, but unfortunately, you guys determined that came with really bad BO, so I was just unbearable to be around.
Atrocious, just the worst you've ever smelled.
My number 2 was to have unlimited money, and why is this the one I'm drawing a blank on? What the
because we can't say the word conservatorship.
Oh yeah. You guys control my money.
Thomas and I control your finances.
Yeah,
specifically Thomas and I.
Yeah, exactly.
You better hope we die young, bitch.
I am the Britney Spears to your guys.
Jamie Lynn Spears.
Not what I was going to say, but okay. Whoever owned her money, whatever. Number 1,
Jamie Spears. Her dad's name is Jamie too.
Oh, got it. Yeah. Okay. Number 1 is to eat whatever I want without gaining weight or adversely affecting my health. But you guys said that I would never be satiated or satisfied, and I'd always be craving something else.
Good words.
Yep.
Yeah.
Number 5 is world peace, but I would essentially be wiping out the entire population. Number 4 was that people would stop trying to tell me what hot dogs are made of so I can keep eating them, but I would no longer know what they're made of, and it'd be even worse than it is. Number 3 is that other wild animals were domesticated similarly to dogs, and yours was that no matter what my pet was or what I did, it would be terribly behaved. Number 2 was teleportation, and I would replace and / kill a random person in the place I teleported to. 1 was I wanted to talk to my past self, and what I wrote, and I guess for the best of wishes, is that I could not help but lie while talking to them.
Yeah, you exclusively tell lies.
Love that.
We really got off to the races quick with your number 5. You said world peace, and we were like, "That's stupid.
Dead.
Everything is dead." Number 3. I think this is the order that I have it in. Number 3 was all of my friends living in the same city, but I cannot live in that city.
Number 3?
Why did you say?
Number 5, because I told you I switched my order. I didn't have it bulleted before. Number 5 was all of my friends living in the same city, but I can't live in that city. And I don't even remember if I was allowed to visit or not. Number 4 was the ability to make, I said content creation, but list night, my full-time job, but it would have the same drawbacks that it would have for Andrew, where we're just far right pundits. Yeah, we don't like our fan base, and our fan base probably wouldn't genuinely.
Well, they love us.
Number 3 was eternal youth for all of my pets, but they're all a minute old. Is that right? Yeah, they're all a minute old. We didn't even give me a day. They're a minute old. Number 2 was a redo button where I can go back 60 seconds, but at any point you guys can jump me forward 60 seconds. And I don't know what happens in that time. And then number 1 was eternal youth in the prime of my life. And I've already forgotten what you established was the downside of this.
Can't touch yourself.
I can't touch myself. Yeah. Can't touch myself. Can't masturbate. No self-care for my eternal youth.
That was such a horrifying thought for you that you just immediately blocked it out. You just
immediately forgot. I didn't even remember that was suggested, and it was very clearly the best of the lot. All the others were like very traditional eternal youth ones. This one is very targeted, we'll say. Monkey paws.
This episode, man, we added a shit ton to the list night universe.
I really appreciate
the list
that
night
we tied a lot of this together, and I didn't think we'd be able to do that. Our lives are shit.
We hardly broke kayfabe. We stayed in it.
Yeah,
and The Rock would be proud of us.
Yeah, The Rock would be proud of us, and I think he is proud of us. But you know, I mean, Thomas's younger self will definitely think The Rock is proud of him.
I'm best friends with The Rock.
Yeah. You sure are, buddy. You sure are. God. All right. If you're still watching on YouTube, comment below either what your favorite list is or what your own list of monkey paws would be. You can just say your favorite things and we can come up with them, or you can say what the drawbacks would be, whatever. It's up to you. You can follow us on social media at list.night on Instagram, at listnight on Twitter. I don't think we're on TikTok. We're not on TikTok. You can follow my other podcast, The Give and Go Show. I do with Matt Modi and Matt Ferentinos, one of whom has been on this pod, one of whom hopefully will be on this pod soon. It's a basketball podcast. We talk about basketball. We talk about stuff in pop culture. We talk about nerd shit. It's good times. We stream weekly on Wednesdays. We will try to have another episode sooner than 6 months from now. This is today is September 25th. Hopefully we'll have this out pretty soon, and then maybe we'll have another episode in October. That'd be pretty sick. Andrew, Thomas, good to be doing this again. If you're tuning in and listening to us, we appreciate you being here. Anything else before we get out of here?
I'm good.
Nobody likes you when you're 23, Griffin. Not even yourself.
Just gonna teleport out of here.
Hopefully not to either of the homes that we're in. See you guys next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know in the comments what you want to see for the next video. We appreciate any and all support, and make sure you're also following us on Twitter and on Instagram. See you next time.